What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is White Gamer, and I've officially played over 70 hours of FC26 Pro Clubs. So I want to give you guys some tips regarding the attributes, XP consumables. So guys, when you start leveling up your pro or even in the first few levels, I would always recommend to try to get your attribute stats to between 80 to 85, guys. Why? Because once you go below that or below 80 or just leave it at base stats, that certain attribute doesn't perform really well in game. So I'll give you a good example. So if we take a look at my recycler build right here. Now I don't have the greatest jumping. I only have it 70, which that's the base stat. The jumping on this build is really bad, and it's really noticeable compared to my center back build that has 90 jumping, or even if it was to have 84 or 85 jumping, guys. So whichever stat you want to focus on, guys, for whichever build, always try to get it between the 80 to 85. For example, we got the interceptions and defensive awareness to 80. If we look at our striker build or even our spark build, our winger build, most of my stats, you guys can see the, I know my, okay, you guys can see the pace. The pace is between 80 to 85. We got the finishing, attacking position, 80 to 85. So the main reason you want to keep at that range, guys, is because you'll notice a difference in your actual attributes when you're performing it. Like when I'm doing finishing, I've noticed it when I was at compared to like 670 or 75. Now, another reason why you want to keep at that range is once you level up in the higher levels, guys, and you have more points to spend on your attributes, the higher you start going. For example, on the spark finishing, the higher we go, the more points that will cost. So once you get to the high 80s, like 88 or even low 90s, you see, guys, it started to cost way more. So always keep that in mind as you're leveling up and making your build. Try to get a couple of attributes between 80 and 85. I've seen a lot of people just focus on two stats or two attributes and try to get that to high 80s and 90s. I wouldn't recommend that. I would try to recommend it keep it between 80 to 85, like we see here on our finisher archetype. We have a few stats around 80 to 85. Again, that's a good range, and as you level up, eventually you want to get your most important stats for that particular build in the high 80s because they start to cost more. Now, guys, like I said, you want to spread out your attributes evenly. Don't focus on just one or two attributes and get those in 90s. Spread out your attributes. Another thing is, guys, make sure you're always taking a screenshot of your build. So let's say, for example, you like the build that you currently have on your finisher and you want to try out a different type of a set of attributes. Take a picture, guys. I did that so many times on my main center back build where I would take a picture of the attributes before I reset. Because remember, guys, you have to, every time you want to keep the build, but you want to reset the attributes, you have to use coins. So always take a picture before you reset your archetype, especially if you like the way it feels, because I know some people might mess up on their build or they just want to try out different attributes for the build like I did. I remember once I hit level 50, I had to reset my build like 3 times. That's 15,000 coins right there that I could have had saved up. I kept messing up on certain attributes. So guys, always take a picture of your attributes before you reset your build and whatnot. Also, guys, when you're maxing out your builds, start off with your main position, guys. Like, for example, I have multiple builds already, right? I started off with my main build, which is the boss archetype. Make sure you're focusing first on your main archetype, or your main position. So, for example, I play center back, so that's why I focus on my CB first. If you're a striker, focus on your striker first, because I know some of you guys play multiple positions, and that's okay. But if I were you, focus first on your main archetype and then start focusing on the other secondary position. And guys, and if you have multipliers, for example, I have multipliers and percentage boost. Well, I already use my XP boost. Try to spread them out evenly. Unless you're going to just have one archetype and you would just want to focus on that one main archetype at first, that's okay. But if you're going to have multiple archetypes, for example, like we do, try to spread out your boost and your multipliers evenly. That's what I did yesterday when we were, when I started leveling up other archetypes. I did the XP boost for the finisher, then I did the XP boost for the spark with the multipliers, and then the same thing I did for the rest of them. That's what we have: level 7 creator, level 5 maestro, level 10 recycler. You want to try to spread out your consumables, unless, like I mentioned, you're just going to have one archetype and that's going to be your main one. If it's going to be for your main build, then okay, you can go all in on your XP boost and multiplier, but that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're going to have multiple archetypes, which I know people are, because I know some people do play multiple positions. Another thing is, guys, you don't have to apply your attribute points as soon as you level up, guys. Let me see if I can give you a good, oh, right, this is a good example right here. The progressor, guys. So I just hit level 8 like a game or two ago, and I have 20 attribute points. Like, guys, I'm not gonna, like, because sometimes you're not gonna notice the boost or the attributes +2, guys. If you can get it to +3 to +4, then you'll start noticing that attribute actually be effective. But guys, sometimes when you level up, you don't have to right away spend your attribute points, guys. It's okay. You can keep it for another level or two. Like, for example, for the progressor right here, I'm not going to spend these 20 attribute points because it's not really worth to spend it on nothing. You see, if I want to get a +3 jumping, it's 21. Like, I wouldn't recommend upgrading your attribute points if you're only going to get a +2. If you're going to get a +3 or higher, then definitely is worth it. But sometimes, like I said, you don't need to put your attribute points right away as you level up. I did that a lot for my main build when I was grinding. I would wait 1 or 2 levels, then I would apply it, because obviously when you wait a little bit more, you'll have more points to play with, and you will actually notice the difference on that attributes. So guys, those are just some of my tips regarding the attributes, consumables, after playing over 70 hours of the game. Let me know how you guys are liking the game so far. Do you guys like the new archetype system? Do you not like it? I've been saying this. The only thing I don't like about the archetypes is that you can't have whichever playstyle plus you want. But other than that, I really do like the attributes that you can just focus specifically on whichever attributes you want, which is good. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, good luck if you're grinding. Hope you guys have a good Tuesday, and I'll catch you guys later for the stream.